point.
But if it's a cyber attack, it can't really be fixed, right? So I guess our subject today is about potential cyber attacks.
Cyber attacks conspiracy.
Yeah, it's
Did I
going to
say
be
that right?
conspiracy-ish kind of episode today. Because last week, AT&T and a bunch of small carriers, like the phones went down like most of the day, right?
Yeah.
And then I've been seeing a bunch of stuff coming out that it was actually a cyber attack, not like services going down. It was somebody else trying to attack our communications. And maybe it was a test, maybe it was whatever, right? But I've been on Facebook, like Facebook, Instagram, anything on the Meta platform's down right now. It's been down for 40 minutes?
Almost an hour at this point.
And
yeah.
I've been on Facebook since like when it first came out. So like when I was in college, it came out, I think it came out 2004, 2005. My school was a smaller D1 school. And like, Facebook during that time, you had to have an official college email.
Right.
And so it was only college kids. And I'm pretty sure it was like 2005 when I got on Facebook. It was probably 2005. I think it was my freshman year of college. And I don't remember Facebook going down like this.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've had Facebook since I was 12, and it's never been down for me either.
I mean, there might have been like a little bit of here and there, right? Like it's down for 5 minutes, like servers went down, something crashed, but not for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then the
service
coincidence of last week, and then I remember people talking about last week, they're like, well, we couldn't communicate, but we hooked up to our Wi-Fi and we could still communicate. Everything worked. We just lost cell. But now, I mean, I use Messenger is probably I use text messaging, Messenger, WhatsApp, and a couple like Telegram and a couple other things. Most of my messages go through Messenger.
Yeah, me too.
And so now you can't even communicate with that. Like that's even with my wife. Like I was like, I'm going to let her know like, hey, Facebook's down. And then I instantly went to Messenger. I'm like, okay, this doesn't work. I had to text her, which is weird because we don't text much. We Messenger a lot.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because like Snapchat's not down.
Nothing else is down.
Yeah, nothing else is down. Twitter's not down. It's literally only the Meta platforms under Facebook.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird and kind of crazy, and I might go buy some more bullets today because I need some more ammunition, and this is like the perfect time to use it as an excuse to go buy some more ammunition.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we're good to go at our house, but
Yeah, you're not, but I have to make it to your house, and then I'll be fine.
yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I like things lately have been lining up to where and I know how some of this works is like your algorithm starts like you start getting all this information and it's weird tensions in the US, in the world. Everything is just weird right now.
Yeah, everything's chaotic. You have the
it's just going to get worse.
election.
Yeah. With the election cycle, it's just going to get worse. And people are talking about how the U.S. is in its downfall. Other people are talking about how there's lots of end times type of things going on. And there's a lot of, I want to say it's conspiracy, but I also am kind of like, some of it makes sense.
Yeah, some of it makes sense. And did you know that the moon's actually rusting now?
Then it would have.
The moon's rusting, and supposedly that's supposed to be like a biblical.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so
I seen a video on it the other day, and like the moon has a certain amount of rust, and I don't remember what they called it, but they used it for in like the biblical times, like the Hebrew word for that word. It started with H. I don't remember what it is, but the Hebrew word for that word is blood. So it basically like
it's a blood moon.
It's a blood moon, and supposedly in biblical times, that the moon will turn red as a blood moon, and technically that's supposed to be like the beginning of Jesus coming back.
So there's a lot. So I know that's like, so the study of the end times, eschatology.
Right.
And the more that I learn, the more I feel like this conspiracy theorist guy, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw a reel that made a lot of sense where, so it talks about the 4 horsemen.
Correct.
And each of the 4 horsemen like have a color. It's like, I think it's like black, red, white, green, something like that.
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't studied that much deep into that side of things.
And I guess in my head as a kid, the whole time I always thought, oh, it's going to be like chariots of fire in the sky, these like these mythical creatures coming down, right? Like, and that's how I've always seen it. But I saw this reel talk about with the color of the four horsemen and like the whole Israel thing. Remember, we're dumb. We don't know anything about politics or what's going on in the world. We're talking about reels we saw.
Yeah, this is just like our crazy, outrageous opinions that could potentially or may not be true. Either
They're
way,
just interesting to talk about, right? So with all that, I saw this reel that was talking about it and the four horsemen. And then think about Israel. The colors of Israel are white and blue. And every color, every country that surrounds them, their flags are made of white, green, red, and black.
Oh.
And almost every one of them have some form of sickle on it.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought.
So what if it's not like these mythical things coming out of the sky? What if it's literally like, hey, these countries around you are the four horse, like are showing signs of the four horsemen.
And they're going to come and absolutely destroy you at this point.
Like,
is that are they supposed to like destroy Israel? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gone crazy into eschatology. I know some of the stuff. I know there's a lot of theologians right now that believe like the end times will come like in the next 20, 30 years. And they think like some of the stuff has already started happening. Like even, have you seen some of those unexplained reels of weird stuff floating in the sky and they look like Nephilim?
I have not.
Looks like angels with like 6 wings, but people are calling it like not an octopus. What's it? Kind of like a jellyfish floating in the sky.
I haven't seen any of those reels.
I have. Well, yeah, it's crazy.
Interesting. I'll have to find a picture.
And like, you know that angels don't look like what we think they look like.
Yes. I figured that out like 2 weeks ago. Like I found a video and be like, yeah, these are what angels actually looks like due to the ChatGPT image generator thing based off descriptions. They're kind of freaky.
Yeah, so think about it. So what have you always thought angels look like?
I always thought they were just like normal human beings.
With wings.
Yeah, with wings.
Yes. So yeah. So that's what I've always thought. And that's what most people think. But a lot of the stuff you see is like they're like circular, right?
Right.
They're circular and I think they have a bunch of eyes.
Yeah, there
and
was
weird stuff. And like I asked and they said, think about every time an angel has appeared to a human. They say, do not be afraid.
Yeah, which I was always wondering why they always said that, but now it's making sense.
Yeah, I always thought it was like, maybe they look crazy, right? They look like some crazy like Viking warrior with a flaming sword with wings and they're like armored up, right?
Yep.
They look like some awesome character in like a video game. But they look like these otherworldly things that you don't know what they are. So they would have to tell you, don't be afraid.
Yeah, but like, so think about this. Like, do you think they have a mouth? Like, do you think their mouth is moving? Or do you think it's like telekinesis?
Right?
Or do you think it's telekinesis?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I have no idea.
That's
like,
weird.
Are they actually talking to you or are they talking in your head? I don't know. I've also heard a bunch of stuff where a lot of the like UFO stuff, they're like, it's not UFOs. Like where they talk about these commanders that they see these things that they don't know what they are. And then they move, 30,000 miles an hour kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they're like, humans can't do that. Like, yeah, because it's like angels and demons.
Yeah, that's freaky. Okay, so I had a thought. I was watching Phineas and Ferb last night, and they go into space because their dad bought them a star or whatever. That's kind of like the backstory that they got.
Yeah.
But they have to go through this asteroid belt that technically you can't go through. Like in the solar system, you have Earth, and then you have this giant asteroid belt, and then you have the next planet. What's the next planet?
Oh,
Jupiter?
You're putting me on the spot. It's Mars, right?
No, Mars is
closer?
Mars is closer to the sun.
Wait, no.
So you have Venus,
then
Mars,
we can't
Earth.
live there because it's too hot.
Is it?
Right?
I don't remember.
Dude, I'm dumb.
I don't know.
Like when it comes to planets now.
I didn't study space, so.
Well, when I was a kid, we also had Pluto, and that's not a real planet anymore.
Yeah.
But
basically, there's this asteroid belt that you're not supposed to get through. I don't even know if a telescope's made it through there yet.
What's great about Google?
You looked it
keep
up. I'll
talking.
keep explaining.
Yeah.
But you can't get past this asteroid belt, from what I know. So, like, what if there are aliens outside the asteroid belt, and we're like in a tiny experiment that we can't get past, and they're just watching? That was my thought process with that.
I just keep getting pictures of stuff. It is Mars.
Oh, it is Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Jupiter.
Then Jupiter. Okay, so that debunks my theory because there's a rover on Mars, so never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
well.
think that through all the way. Oh.
So another thing, we're wrong. Remember, we're dumb. We're talking about random stuff.
We are not educated in that space whatsoever.
So yeah, so I don't know. I think it's going to be a wild ride in the U.S. and in the world in general, and it makes me kind of miss my childhood when I didn't know anything.
I 100% agree.
And you're so much younger. It sucks
know.
for you. Like
I'm
I didn't
only
have any of these.
22.
I know, and I'm about to be 38. Like I've just started having these feelings in the last couple of years, and I feel like I'm blissfully unaware for so long of so many things. Well, we just know too much now.
Yeah, there's too much information, too much knowledge. The internet is a good and a bad thing, and I think people are on the bad side of it now.
Well, it's just a bombardment of information. Like we're technically in the safest time we've ever lived, right?
Mhm.
Like you have medicine, you have police, you have if you're gonna die, there's all these other things that you can do, right? And in general, I'm not going out on a normal day fearing for my life or if I'm gonna eat or if I'm gonna whatever.
Right.
It's usually stupid things that I worry about. But when I was a kid, if like it was a big deal somebody getting like kidnapped or murdered, and it was like it was in the town's newspaper and people were talking about it, and you might have heard of some big national thing, but you didn't hear about every person that was kidnapped in a town 1,000 miles away from you.
Yeah, you didn't hear about every Amber Alert that went off.
No, you didn't know what an Amber Alert was.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So
well,
like
we didn't have them.
So Amber
We didn't have
Alerts,
phones.
Amber Alerts just started like when I was coming up, and cell phones became a thing. Like look at the first iPod came out.
Yeah, but think about it. Nobody took it
weird.
seriously. When
Yeah.
you get an Amber Alert, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying now. Which
You're
is
just
actually
like,
really
I
bad.
don't know this car from Massachusetts. I don't even live near there.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually Texas for us.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, how am I going to see that silver like Nissan Altima? I'm not going to pay attention to the Amber Alert. That's from some town I don't know.
You know what's really crazy?
What?
The government has access to the whole main internet thing. They could just unplug it, and then the internet's done.
Or they're the ones that invented it.
Yeah, like they could just unplug it and just be like, yeah, no more internet for anyone.
Or, I mean, anything else too. We could just have our whole grid go down.
Yeah.
Or countries against each other.
Yeah.
Like both parties, that's all they do against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's crazy the stuff that they will go do. Both sides, not even one.
Yeah.
Like,
We could potentially be destroying ourselves with all this other negative information.
yeah, no, yeah. Well, it's how human brains work. You're going for the negative, and that's why social media works really well. That's why a lot of things work, and it's just too much information, too much stuff. Yeah. Like, that's why I have poured into my faith in the last, 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that's kind of keeping me sane.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's keeping you straight.
Yeah.
That doesn't
'cause
be like,
if
oh,
all I
shiny
do
object,
is look
shiny
at
object.
this, I will be very miserable.
Yep.
So
Which is why I went camping last week, because it gave me a reset and it was so nice.
that's why I didn't look at my phone all weekend, pretty much. So I guess, yeah, it could be some crazy thing and the world's going to end. It
Mhm.
could also be we need resets from our phones and just kind of hang out and not worry about Facebook for a day.
Yeah, because I only use Facebook unless it's like Messenger.
There was a long time I didn't use Facebook until business ended up being a lot of communication through Messenger. And that's the only reason I started Facebook again. But yeah, so let us know what you think. Do you think we're actually having cyber attacks, or do you think this is just a blip in the system? Stuff fails. It's not a big deal. It's just circumstantial. Let us know what you think, and let us know where you fall on all of this.
Yeah. Is it a conspiracy theory or is it just our imagination?
Or is it both?
Spooky.
See y'all later.
See y'all later.